Welcome to Biochemistry DSP channel. Today I'll be discussing about beta oxidation of fatty acid. Long chain fatty acids like palmitic acid and stearic acid will undergo a lipolysis in the form of beta oxidation. So adipose tissue is a specialized tissue which are designed for synthesis, storage and hydrolysis of TGs. And most of the TGs which is stored in the adipocyte will undergo hydrolysis, that is lipolysis, in the presence of hormone sensitive triacylglycerol lipase to yield free fatty acid and glycerol. Uh, these free fatty acids will pass into the blood and they get transported to various tissues such as heart, kidney, skeletal muscles, liver, lung, and where they get oxidized into CO2 and water with the production of energy. Brain, RBC, and renal medulla cannot utilize the free fatty acid because of the lack of mitochondria. In human body, the fatty acids are oxidized via uh, alpha fatty acid oxidation, then beta oxidation of fatty acids and omega oxidation of fatty acids. So these are the major ways by which a fatty acid can be oxidized in the human body: beta oxidation, alpha oxidation and omega oxidation of fatty acids, where among the three, the major pathway is beta oxidation of fatty acid, which occurs in the mitochondria. Franz Knupp is a German scientist who proposed the theory of beta oxidation of fatty acid. It's a major pathway for the oxidation of fatty acids in the humans. The definition for beta oxidation of fatty acid is: a fatty acid molecule is oxidized at the beta carbon with successive removal of two carbon atoms in the form of acetyl CoA from the COH end of the fatty acid chain. It's a major pathway to be oxidized in human body. So it means that oxidation occurs at beta carbon of fatty acid with the removal of two carbon atoms in the from the COH end of the fatty acid, so that it will leave the fatty acid molecule shortened by two carbon atoms. This occurs in major tissues like liver, skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, lung, renal cortex, etc. It involves the major three steps or stages: activation of fatty acid, which occurs in the cytosol, transport of activated fatty acid from cytosol to mitochondria, and the proper beta oxidation, which occurs in the mitochondrial matrix. Since fatty acids are synthesized in the cytosol, it has to be activated in the cytosol, and after that the activated fatty acid has to be taken to mitochondria for beta oxidation, because beta oxidation enzymes are present only in the mitochondrial matrix. Activation of fatty acids. So this activation step occurs in the cytosol. The enzyme which is required for this activation is acyl CoA synthetase, which is also called as thiokinase. So in the presence of ATP, Mg2 plus and coenzyme A, acyl CoA synthetase will convert the free fatty acid into fatty acyl CoA. So the fatty acyl CoA, formation of fatty acyl CoA from fatty acid, is the first step. This fatty acyl CoA form is called the activated fatty acid. So acyl CoA synthetase will catalyze the formation of a thioester linkage between the COOH group of fatty acid and the thiol group of the coenzyme A to form fatty acyl CoA. So this activation step occurs in the cytosol, which requires energy. This energy is derived from ATP converted into AMP plus PPI. Then this pyrophosphate is also undergo, it is hydrolyzed immediately into inorganic phosphate, two molecules of inorganic phosphate. So two ATP molecules. Okay, 2 ATP molecules are utilized to convert this fatty acid into fatty acyl CoA. So in the activation step, 2 ATPs are utilized. Okay. So mainly the long chain fatty acids will undergo this type of beta oxidation. So the second stage is transport of fatty acyl CoA from the cytosol into mitochondrial matrix. So how it can be transported means it can be transported through a carrier protein, acyl carrier protein called carnitine. This carnitine is nothing but beta hydroxy gamma trimethyl ammonium butyrate. Okay, so beta hydroxy, beta means third carbon. First carbon is the COOH group, second carbon is alpha carbon, third carbon is called the beta carbon. So it has got a hydroxy position in the beta carbon, and gamma carbon has got trimethyl, two methyl groups connected with the ammonium group and butyrate. Okay, so the name of this carnitine is beta hydroxy trimethyl ammonium butyrate. It is synthesized from lysine and methionine, and it is abundantly available in all tissues. So this carnitine protein, this will act as a acyl carrier protein to carry this activated fatty acyl CoA to mitochondria. So this carnitine with the actually the transfer of this fatty acyl moiety into mitochondrial matrix occurs in a three-step process in the presence of the enzyme called carnityl palmitoyl transferase 1. This carnityl palmitoyl transferase 1 or carnitine acyl transferase 1. Okay, acyl means fatty acid. So the carnityl, in the presence of the enzyme carnitine acyl transferase 1, which is located on the inner side, okay, inner surface of the outer mitochondrial membrane. So just nearer to the cytosolic part, this carnitine acetyltransferase is located, which will react with the fatty acyl CoA to form fatty acyl carnitine with the release of coenzyme A. Okay, that will be that reaction will be carried out with the help of the enzyme called carnitine acetyltransferase 1. The fatty acyl carnitine is then enters between the inner and outer mitochondrial membrane, where it get transported inside the mitochondrial matrix through the help of the enzyme called acyl carnitine translocase. Then after located into the inner mitochondrial membrane, acyl carnitine acyl transferase 2, which is located nearer to the inner surface of the inner mitochondrial membrane, which will transfer a fatty acyl group from the fatty acyl carnitine to coenzyme A to yield fatty acyl CoA, and it will release the free carnitine. Thus, the carnitine will be once again it will be liberated uh, into the from the matrix into the cytosol, where it facilitate other transport of other fatty acid acyl CoA molecules. So this is how the transport of fatty acid to mitochondria occurs. So nearer to the outer mitochondrial membrane, there is an enzyme called carnitine acyl transferase 1. So this carnityl acyl transferase 1 will okay, it will help in the formation of acyl carnitine. Okay, so carnitine is a protein. This is a beta hydroxy gamma trimethyl ammonium butyrate. So this will react with activated fatty acyl CoA, so that the CoA will be released. This carnitine will be converted into acyl carnitine, or C double bond O is the acyl group. Okay, acyl carnitine. So now this acyl carnitine will be translocated in the intermembrane space through with the help of translocase called carnitine translocase. Then where it will be acted upon by another enzyme, this acyl carnitine will be acted upon by another enzyme which is present near the inner mitochondrial membrane called carnitine acyl transferase 2, where this acyl carnitine will condense with coenzyme A to be converted into acyl CoA. Okay, the fatty acyl CoA is formed. Now this acyl CoA has been transported inside the mitochondrial matrix, releasing the free carnitine. So the free carnitine again through the translocase it will enter into the outer mitochondrial membrane to carry another molecule of acyl CoA inside the matrix. So this is how the second stage occurs. Transport of fatty acyl CoA from the cytosol to mitochondrial matrix will occur with the help of a acyl carrier protein called carnitine. Now the proper beta oxidation pathway will take place in the mitochondrial matrix. So it consists of 4 reactions in each cycle. Okay. So totally 7 cycles are involved in oxidizing palmitic acid. So for example, this is a general formula for a fatty acyl CoA or CH2 COOH is the general formula for any fatty acid. So long chain fatty acids, we have to show the alpha carbon as well as the beta carbon. So oxidation of this beta carbon, and we are going to cleave these 2 carbons in the form of acetyl CoA in each cycle. So in each cycle 4 reactions will take place. In each of the beta oxidation cycle, the acyl CoA will lose us 2 carbon atoms as acetyl CoA, and the fatty acid chain is shortened by 2 carbon atoms. So the first stage after this, after the fatty acid CoA enters into the mitochondria, it will be acted upon by the mitochondrial enzyme acyl CoA dehydrogenase, which will use FAD as the coenzyme, and FAD will be converted into FADH2 to yield delta 2 trans-enoyl CoA. So delta 2 means double bond is present between second and third carbon atom. So uh, okay, delta 2 represents the saturated bond is present between the carbon 2 and 3. So delta 2 trans-enoyl CoA. Here FAD is converted into FADH2, which will enter into electron transport chain to be oxidized, and it will yield 1.5 molecules of ATP. Approximately 2 ATPs will be generated by this step. Then hydration of this delta 2 trans-enoyl CoA will occur with the help of the enzyme called delta 2 enoyl CoA hydratase. So delta 2 enoyl CoA hydratase is an enzyme. So it will hydrate this, it will convert this trans-enoyl CoA into beta hydroxyacyl CoA. So beta or 3-hydroxyacyl CoA. The third carbon, that is the beta carbon, is hydroxylated. OH group is present in the third carbon or beta carbon. Hence the name, it is beta hydroxyacyl CoA. Now this beta hydroxyacyl CoA, again it will be dehydrogenated with the help of another coenzyme called NAD+. So in this dehydrogenation step, NAD+ will be utilized. It will be converted into NADH plus H+, which will be further, it will undergo oxidation through electron transport chain to yield 2.5 molecules of ATP or 3 ATPs to yield a compound called. So in this reaction, beta hydroxyacyl CoA will be converted into 3-ketoacyl CoA or beta ketoacyl CoA. So the CH-OH bond has been converted into C double bond. A keto group is present in the third carbon. Hence the name, it is 3 or beta ketoacyl CoA. The fourth step is that is the cleavage step. So in the presence of thiolase enzyme, acetyl CoA will be cleaved. Okay, so a new acetyl CoA will be produced, and the beta ketoacyl CoA is cleaved in the presence of coenzyme A to yield a compound called acetyl CoA with a new acyl CoA. The new acyl CoA will be 2 carbon shorter than the original acyl CoA. So from, if you are taking starting material as palmitic acid, means palmitoyl CoA, means it will be converted into myristoyl CoA plus acetyl CoA. So this is how the beta oxidation cycle will occur for 6 more times further. So totally 7 cycles will be involved. So after myristoyl CoA, 6 more cycles will take to yield 7 molecules of acetyl CoA. So 7 plus 1, totally 8 acetyl CoA will get. So through 7 cycles of beta oxidation, Palmitic acid means it will undergo 7 cycles of beta oxidation to yield 8 molecules of acetyl-CoA. The last cycle will be split into 2 molecules of acetyl-CoA. So hence with the 7 cycles of beta oxidation will yield you 8 molecules of acetyl-CoA in the case of beta oxidation of palmitic acid. So this is the entire reaction of beta oxidation of fatty acid. Fatty acid, in the presence of acyl-CoA synthetase, it will be converted into fatty acyl-CoA, which will migrate from the cytosol to mitochondria through acyl carrier protein called carnitine, where will undergo dehydrogenation in the presence of the enzyme called acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. It will utilize FAD as the coenzyme to yield a component delta 2 trans-phenyl-CoA. Then water will be added in the presence of the enzyme hydratase to yield beta hydroxyacyl-CoA. Then again dehydrogenation step using NAD plus S coenzyme to yield a compound 3-ketoacyl-CoA, which will undergo cleavage to produce the presence of coenzyme A to give acyl-CoA, okay, with 2 carbon shorter than the original fatty acid plus acetyl-CoA, which will enter into TCA cycle for further metabolism. So this second stage to fifth step, the second to fifth step will take place for seven times to yield. Finally it will yield into acetyl-CoA. 8 acetyl-CoA will be formed. So this is how you can represent palmitoyl CoA. This is also in the linear chain form. Also you can represent palmitic acid, and you can give the beta oxidation of palmitic acid like this. So after this is one cycle, so 6 plus 1 7 cycles, so totally 7 cycles. Okay, 7 cycles will yield you 7 plus 1 8 acetyl-CoA molecule. So the overall reaction is palmitic acid, that is palmitoyl CoA, will react with 7 molecules of FAD and 7 molecules of NAD plus and 7 coenzyme A to yield 8 acetyl-CoA plus 7 FADH2 plus 7 NADH plus 7 H plus. So while calculating the energetics, the first step, activation step, we are utilizing 2 ATPs, so minus 2 ATPs, and in the oxidation of 7 FADH2 molecule by through ATC, we get 14 ATP. If you are multiplying with 2 means it is 14. It's old concept 14. New concept, it is through electron transport chain, we get exactly 1.5 molecules of ATP. So it will yield 10.5 ATPs. By the oxidation of NADH, approximation means it is 7 into 3, 21 ATPs are produced for 7 cycles. New concept, it is exact means 2.5. So 7 into 2.5, 17.5 molecules of ATP. Through oxidation of 1 acetyl-CoA through TCA cycle, we get 12 ATPs. So 8 into 12, it is 96 ATPs. New concept, it is 8 into 10, 80 ATPs. So total ATP gained will be 131 minus this 2. Okay, 131 minus 2, it is 129 ATPs are generated by oxidizing 1 molecule of palmitic acid. If you are considering for oxidation of FAD as 1.5 and NADH as 2.5, means totally you will get 108 minus 2, that is 106 ATPs will be generated by oxidizing 1 molecule of palmitic acid. So this is the this amount of energy will be produced by complete oxidation of 1 molecule of palmitic acid under normal condition. So the biomedical importance of this beta oxidation of fatty acid is under normal condition, glucose will be used as the principal source of energy, and beta oxidation of fatty acids will become the source of energy only when either hepatic glycogen is getting exhausted or during starvation only, or when the body fails to utilize the normal blood glucose level. During diabetes condition only, this beta oxidation will become a major source of metabolic energy. The inherited deficiency of the enzyme of beta oxidation pathway or carnitine will impair the beta oxidation, and which will result in hypoglycemia. So the carnitine deficiency will yield result in hypoglycemia and severe muscular weakness, and inherited deficiency of acyl-CoA dehydrogenase will also result in severe hypoglycemia, and Jamaican vomiting sickness is characterized by hypoglycemia, vomiting, and hypoglycemic coma. It is caused by eating unripened acne fruits. Ackee fruits, the unripened ackee fruits will contain a toxic called hypoglycin A, which will inhibit the medium and short chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. As a result, beta oxidation gets impaired, which will lead to hypoglycemia, vomiting, and hypoglycemic coma. This condition is called as Jamaican vomiting sickness. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and support the channel Biochemistry DSP.